So we're here at Gary Loop HQ, so we're back at base, out this morning and really just filming around a recently cut silage field, checking for foxes, but that was successful, and also got a nice doe on camera. We were out early, and one of the things I didn't realise till I played the footage back is you can actually see the udder of the doe. The camera is quite good on zoom. Couldn't really see it from where we were, quite a distance away initially, and you can clearly see the udder sort of swaying about between her back legs. So we suspected that she was feeding a kid somewhere, and clearly she was, and that's why she was fairly agitated about that young fox cub that was obviously wandering around in the same area. So welcome to the second episode of our show. We've just come out this morning to have a look round. You can see on here they've just taken the silage off, first silage cut. And it's quite a good time to catch foxes out for one. If you like to mouse and get all the bits and pieces in the field, but also gives us a chance to have a look round. We've got the rut approaching, clients coming in, so we do spend a lot of time on mornings like these, both Rab and I, just looking around all the areas. Want to just confirm that the numbers of bucks are right, where the bucks are, and make a bit of a plan moving forward into what is quite a busy time. You get a bit pre-rutty now as we get in towards the rut. I mean, we've still got quite a bit to go yet, probably another 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks up here to get the peak of it, but it'll start earlier in the south. Got a young doe just on the corner of the field down here. But there was a fox, I think, just disappeared into the undergrowth down in our front. The wind's a bit tricky, it's just sucking down the side of this wood. But one of the points I want to make about this is the amount of time we spend on the ground just monitoring and watching and not necessarily shooting. So that's one of the things that we want to get across. We don't come out and shoot deer every time. We come out, we're just watching. A lot of the time we're monitoring. Shoot deer if there's a reason, not because you can. But we're going to drop down the side here, pick the wind up a little bit. Oh, it's tricky, it's circling, it's very flat, there's a low mist. She's wondering why we're not going chasing off after that deer. But I kind of think that bucks are more likely to be on the edge of this forwarder track that's down below us, so we'll have a look. Wait. Okay, so plan A primarily, check if there are any foxes on the silage field. There was a cub, well-grown cub actually. The doe was wandering out. I initially seen a fox coming in here and just sort of getting around to the corner there. The fox sort of disappeared into the undergrowth, and then a young doe came out, walked out into the field, which you'll see. Didn't see the fox for a while then, sort of just watching the doe, just sort of monitoring her, see if there's a buck around. I didn't expect there would be. I think that doe may well have had a kid, and this might have been messing around trying to find it, but the doe wandered off down the field, was clearly looking down to her right, and then the fox reappeared, worked along the banking a bit. Really wasn't a shot, wasn't a safe shot, but actually worked back into us, and then he came far enough in to give enough of a backstop for a shot. I don't know how much we got of that on camera, but anyway, that's a shepherd happier, one less. So I'm just going to continue. We made quite a bit of disturbance now. I'm just going to go down and have a look down in the corner of the wood, glass across the valley. I mean, we made a bit of sort of disturbance wandering around into the field and everything, but we're just going to have a look down there. Quite a lot of low cloud this morning. Fortunately the midges are not too bad. So this is show 2, if you like. We'll call this one a show short. So we're going to interspace some of the material we produce with some material basically looking back over the week or the fortnight in between shows about what a stalking outfitter does. Many things are not totally deer orientated. We get involved in all sorts of other things, so that's what we want to bring you and show you. And clearly from all the messages that we've had in, and thank you for those because the support has been brilliant, and please keep the suggestions coming. But obviously a lot of people are interested in seeing some of the other stuff, such as the field to fork experience, a lot of the planting and environmental aspects that we're involved in here at Garryloop and around and about the forest that we manage. Through to the bees and all the rest of it. So we're going to bring you pretty much everything. What we'd like to do, alternating between sort of more, if you like, stalking or shooting footage, is talk a little bit more about the outfitter side of the house. This is the first one of those. So just to correct my tongue-tied title this morning, the actual new show is called Outfitter Tales, and that basically is to try and get the all-encompassing title around what we want to bring to you. We'd like to do some sort of discussions with myself, Rab and Steve when he's here, just to cover the sort of things that we've been up to, and we'll hopefully film some of that. Moving forward to the show, we've got quite a few bits and pieces that we want to bring, and I'll sort of introduce some of those to you now. But one of the slightly sort of funniest stories, and excuse the cracking in the background, I've got a JCB working, just levelling off the drive here because it gets a bit mucky in the winter, and Grant McMorland, the local farmer, comes and does it for me, but it takes about 3 years to get him, so he's arrived this afternoon, so I'm not sending him away. So basically one of the things I want to talk about is sticks, bipod and rifle. So when I was out filming the other day, and this has happened a few times, for many years I've used the sticks, initially bipod, latterly for a good number of years now the Viperflex. These are the Pro Carbons. 90% of what I shoot and Rab shoots is off sticks. In fact, Rab shoots more off sticks than I do actually, because I do prefer to get down on the bipod if I can. Most of the ground I managed in the early days of my shooting wouldn't allow you to get down on the floor because you're constantly in thick cover. But in recent years we've got some ground, like we've been out today, for example, some farmland where silage has been cut, and it gives you the option of a bipod. So for probably the last 5 or 6 years I've had a bipod on the rifle. Problem being that I've noticed 4 or 5 times recently the bipod has actually engaged with the binocular harness, and has got to stuck in amongst this lot and has been virtually impossible to get out.
You see, the problem we've got is that easy shot. It's only 100 yards away, young buck. That's the one that's been doing a lot of damage, but I've got no safe shot. But set the rifle up because I was just hoping he would come forward and give me a backstop on the mound there, or maybe he'd just is still there, so he might still do it. So I'm going to hold fire because it's fraying. He may well work towards us, and if he goes into that bank in there, then I've got a shot from here. So while we're waiting for the boat to move, we're getting eaten alive by the midges, which are now starting to get quite bad. Gone round the back. Get here. Gone round the back of that ridge. Get here. Get here. Sit. Sit. Rab. Rab. Okay, so here's the thing then. We're 15 yards from a little rowboat that's been causing a lot of damage after a cracking stalk. Absolutely nothing, no margin for error, so very slowly get the rifle on the sticks without making any noise, and then get the bipod stuck on the binocular harness on my back, so I couldn't get the bipod off. So after several attempts of rattling around and banging and dragging, and Rab very kindly unhooked my brass strap, at which point the bucket thought, well, it's perhaps not a good idea and bugger off. But that's what's good about stalking. Frustrating. I've sacked it off in the end, and Rab's just running away because one of the bees are bothering him. And basically I've gone on to the Spartan bipod, which basically fits into a cup. So it alleviates the problem of getting that stuck if you wear a binocular harness, which has really caused me a bit of a problem. But what we will do is we'll show you fitting one of those, because Jeff, one of the guys that come down, one of the regulars, again had the same sort of issue. So we'll just show you fitting the cup, pretty simple. And the Spartan bipod itself, just thread kettle cover there, supplied by the guys at Talon. Fits nicely onto the binocular harness, very easy to get out, so you can deploy that easily. Magnetic clip, away you go. You've got a bipod and you don't actually get yourself hooked up. So it just shows you that even after, you know, a lot of years stalking, there are still tweaks and refinements that can be made to kit.
So Rab's kindly put on the new Spartan bipod for me. Very lightweight, very versatile. Attaches, detaches very easily because as Rab knows, I have a habit of catching my sling in everything when there's a deer. Just well, it won't wait all day for me. So this bit of kit, which will also fit on the other two of my rifles, is really versatile and really lightweight. Very good design indeed.
Yeah, so this is a new Tactical Pro ones with a lever. So basically the legs shoot out. I've got one of the old, just the normal Pro Hunt, which is a bit, it can be a bit fiddly when you have to turn it around, but they've discontinued them now and these are the new ones. But, so the actual adapters here, you can buy additional adapters for your bipod, so you only need one bipod for as many rifles as you own, you just buy the adapters. And they all come with different screws, different profiles, so you can, depending on what your stud screw is, the screw is already in the box to use. And so there's the rubber part on top here, different profiles of your hand guard here, different profiles, different bits of rubber to fix it on nice and secure.
Another nice feature about this one as well is the 180-degree two position, where the bipod's either fixed if you're bench, or if you're in the field, it's got an arc of swing to follow the deer.
So basically,
very nice.
What we're talking about, most bipods you'll have your cant,
Do you take them
which is
off?
basically your left and right there.
Yeah,
You don't necessarily have.
I've got it locked.
Have you locked it?
Yeah, so pull it, just pull it.
So you've got the swivel here as well, which allows you to follow your target all the way around. So it goes in two basic positions. You can have it fixed, so all you do is turn the bipod around, and stick it in, and then it locks in position, nice and firm. And then obviously you can adjust the tension of your cant by just this little lever here.
Yeah. Really well thought out, really simple, but all the best designs are.
That's what happens when you're ex-military guys making stuff.
No, the ex-military are they?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Ah, cool. You can see though that this stuff, and you see it on the social media, they field test it, test and the test and the test. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they incorporate them that learning into the kit. So much stuff out there that when you see it, obviously not being out in the field, it's just been designed, manufactured, thrown out,
and then they find the flaws. Yeah. It happens with a lot. As we've discussed before, it happens with a lot of stuff.
But it's the beauty of it is its simplicity. You know, no big springs, not lots of corners to catch in your webbing in the back of your jacket and all of that jazz. It's just really nice and simple. And in the field, you just carry it in your pocket or in the holder attachment that you can put on your bino case or whatever.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, can you get the adapters and use that on, like, say, 3 or 4 rifles?
That's what we're saying. So the extra...
Pace fits off, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I've got.
3 or 4 rifles.
That's exactly what I've got on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just don't lose them, because you spend days with a metal detector looking for them, which I've done in the past, and it's still not found it.
Too much carbon on it, man.
Excellent.
So Rab, who's normally behind the camera, is now going to come front of camera because he's the guy that's going to actually talk to you about row calls, because he says he's better at it than me and he gets more practice, and he says he does more stalking than me anyway and does more work than me actually, but it's a load of crap. But anyway, there you go. Rab, normally behind the camera. Rab is said stalker. What else are you?
Pest controller, vermin controller, gardener.
Gardener?
Yeah, on the range. I do all the trimming and cutting, don't I?
Cut the grass,
What else I do? Handyman, repairer.
Struggling now, aren't you, Bill?
No, not really.
Oh.
But yeah, so guys, obviously I spend quite a lot of time behind the camera making this guy look really good. It's hard work.
It's easy, that.
But so I've decided that I'd like to spend a little bit more time in front of the camera, just because I'm the one doing all the work, as Chris says. I'm out with the guests most of the time, and what I want to do is introduce more guest type activities for us. Obviously, Chris is the wealth of knowledge that he is, but I want to sort of give you guys the sort of experiences that our guests get when we go out.
Did you just say that?
I did, and I apologise to everyone out there that knows I'm lying.
But you weren't very sincere, were you?
I was fully sincere, mate, fully sincere.
Right. Go on then.
But yeah, so, and then obviously going on to sort of more, so I do quite a lot of the vermin control for the farmers around here. Just basically getting out there and doing stuff that showing you the stuff that we're doing day in, day out. It's not just 100% stalking that we do. But yeah, we're all good.
I've got to say, the only thing he's really good at is pest control.
Yeah.
We are very good at that.
I know.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Give you that. Right, we mentioned roll calling, and you're quite good at the roll call, so we're going to film some clips of you.
Yeah.
And what we'd maybe do, split it down into each individual call.
So we're going to do sort of the three different calls that I tend to use. So we've got the Butterlow, we've got the Cherrywood, and we've got the Nordic row. So, or you can go, if you're good enough, you can do it with your mouth as well.
Now it's showing off.
Yes. But no, it's just, as Chris says, there's a lot of sort of people out there. And I am by no means an expert at this, guys. I just want to put that out there. But I do this year in, year out with Chris, and obviously I've been doing it most of my life.
And it works, and we get a good success rate. So you must
and
be doing
hopefully
something
we'll be able to show this on camera and how it works. But it's the thing that most people get wrong is calling too early when the deer are not ready.
Yeah.
Or they're using the wrong type of call for that scenario. As we'll talk about on the actual, when we're doing the calls itself, there's different types of calls that you can use using the same piece of equipment. So it's just knowing when and how to use that call.
I think the rule of thumb I've always advocated with row calling is first of all, you spend an awful lot of time on your ground, getting to know your ground, know where your bucks are.
Yeah. You get to know the territories.
Get to know the territories.
Where the does are.
And don't really start calling until you've seen rutting activity. If you've seen rutting activity, then they're rutting. If you start speculative calling, you're educating the deer. You might get results, but you're far better waiting until you've seen rutting area, even rutting activity in the area, but ideally on the particular piece of ground you're going to stalk in, and then you're on a winner, because if you've got a rutting buck and a doe coming into season and they're a bit keen, then your chances of getting a response to a roll call are much increased. So sometimes we're thought of as stalking sort of demigods, but it's not actually. It's just because we do a lot of reconnaissance. We like this morning, for example, we're out looking.
Spend time.
We're monitoring where the bucks. I wasn't going to shoot a buck this morning unless it was the young one that was causing a problem on the restock site. And as it happened with a fox, so I'd rather shot the fox anyway at this time of year, because we've still got some young lambs on. But I think it's time on the ground.
What I will sort of caveat that with is obviously we're mid-July now. Mid-June, sorry. And there is what some people may perceive as rutting activity. So the young bucks are trying their luck. They'll be chasing after the does. I've seen it in the past few weeks myself, but it's not full-on rutting activity. It's just it's like pre-rut as such.
Sort of playing in it, playing at it, just practicing.
Yeah. So when you start seeing the bucks having proper fights with each other, having proper goes, and when you start seeing the fairy rings, where the buck's been chasing the does around a tree or a bush or whatever, that's when the sort of proper rut is happening. So don't go too early, is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
don't
I think
blow your load.
That's good. So we'll, can you say that? Yeah. Probably, yeah. We'll cover that in detail,
We're
actually.
talking about bullets and stuff, aren't we?
True, yeah, true.
Well, that's all we're talking about.
Right,
Don't blow your load.
Fine.
It's an old musket term, isn't it?
I don't know, I thought we're on the rutting theme, so it means just something entirely different. Anyway,
That's just your dirty mind, mate.
that's just talking shite as usual. But basically, we will cover that in some detail. So, and we'll try and get one of those. We'll try and get one of those filmed to put on today, and then get another couple out to you in a fortnight's time.
Hi guys, Rob Miller here from South Ayrshire Stalking and co-founder of Talon Gear. What we're going to do for you guys is we're going to do a quick series of information and tips on how to use roe deer calls. 3 calls we're going to be using is the Butterlow, the Nordic roe and the Cherrywood adjustable. Before we go into that, I am no expert. I use these calls during the rut and during the rut only. What I'm going to show you is what works for me. It might not necessarily work for you, but as I say, it works for me, and obviously I call deer in using these techniques. They may not be correct, so don't write it and say, well, you should be doing it this way. This works for me. Doesn't work for you? Okay, happy days. Unfortunately, I've lost the end off of mine through use. It can be used for multiple calls. I mainly use 3 different types of calls, so depending on how I want to use it and where I'm using it, and also the weather conditions. On a nice, still, calm environment, I will try and call in the does to bring the bucks along with them. Then that way I'm not overpowering the whole area, and I'm getting it in anything that's close up to me if I know where they are. First call is basically a fawn in distress or a kid in distress. Small lung capacity, so it's short, sharp bips. Okay, so it's a usually, obviously if the doe's receptive, she'll then come running towards us, hopefully followed up by the buck. The second type of call is a receptive doe, so the males will be here listening out for this. She's wanting to get mated, so she'll be calling out to try and find a suitable companion, shall we say. And this is similar tone to the fawn in distress, but it's a longer with greater gaps in between, so it's more of a again, this should get the bucks coming and getting their attention. And finally, the third call, so this is when the rut is fully on, fully hammering home, and the guys, the roe bucks are running about like idiots, trying to get their end away. It's basically a receptive, a female that's been harassed by another buck obviously the buck will be territorial, and he'll want to run in and then obviously defend his territory and cover that said doe that's calling out. And it's more of a harsher, louder noise, so it's more of a squeeze, 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 and again hopefully that will do. Good luck calling, guys. Practice makes perfect, so be practicing away from the deer prior to any of the activity happening. Catch you later, guys. Look forward to the next instalment where I'll be going through the Nordic row. Cheers.
I think probably that's probably us rambling on enough, really.
Yeah.
We're probably bored everybody stupid now.
Sorry.
We're gonna, no, that's probably me. We're gonna put a bit of archive footage on. I'm really looking forward to this one actually, because this is a clip that I filmed a lot of years ago now, and it was as a result of being asked to do a gralloching guide, and it's well over 10 years ago, and it's with the old lad, my Oscar, the big Weimaraner, who people that watch the shooting show will have seen him many times, sadly not here anymore. So it'll be nice to see this one, but what we will do, because again it's yet another thing that we've been asked to do a lot of, people never seem to get bored of gralloching dems, little tips and tricks on gralloching, preparation for level 2. So we've not filmed any of that for a long time, so we'll start to put some of that in and among this stuff, because I know it's certainly from the comments that I've got, and Rab as well, is something that you want to see. So please, hope you enjoy it, hope you enjoy what you're trying to do. Bear with us, because we've got proper jobs as well. He says he's got more of a job to do than I have, so I suppose I could do more filming, but who the hell knows. But keep the comments coming, keep watching, and hope you enjoy tonight's episode. Anything that I've missed that we want to mention?
Just mention, obviously a few of the comments as well have been concerned with, obviously talking about Oscar and Zosha, Fern and Maisie Matu. Dog training, how we get our dogs to do what we want them to do. It's basically, we'll show you over the next sort of few months hopefully, but yeah, it's
Yes,
just spending time with your dog.
You've got a litter of puppies coming.
I've got a litter of puppies coming in the next couple of weeks, so let's work on that.
People always want to see dogs rather than us anyway, so...
Yeah, cuter, let's face it.
Well, yeah. Okay, we're back in. Nice morning, frosty morning this morning. Good morning to be out. Early bucks, sort of well early into the season. Dean came along, we went along a moorland edge, seen some deer out there while we've been on reds, so we thought we'd come back and try to get one of the bucks, and that's what we did this morning. Right on cue, very early actually, just at the half light, there was a buck out just across the fence line out on what we call the mosses, probably about 140 yards. Everything sort of set up ideally for a nice shot on camera. Therein we start to encounter a problem, namely the stalk and me. So I think it's only fair when you show everybody else's mistakes to show your own. I'd actually got a mound in front of me and thought I could get the bipod deployed, and the mound would give me enough sort of height to get over the top of the stock fence to get the shot into the row. What I hadn't seen and couldn't see properly was the straining wire on top of the fence when I wasn't clear of that. So what actually happened when I took the shot on the buck is, I don't think you pick it up on camera, but Dean and I clearly heard that. Fortunately no harm was done. Buck was rather surprised, very fortunate, as you see, bound off, none the worse for wear. But quite a salutary lesson. If you're not 100% certain, then you don't take the shot. I honestly thought that I was clear of the fence, but obviously I wasn't, so as I say, lesson learned. Buck lives to fight another day. We actually continued the stalk, got into a couple of does, got one nicely on film, stalked right into it, cameraman excelling himself, but no buck with it. So we continued, and then right down below, the dog was indicating actually, and right down below is in a little gully, which you couldn't really see, very, very close. There was a buck, kind of came up. It was a fairly quick shot. Unfortunately, the only thing we got on camera was the death run, if you like. It all happened so quickly. So cameraman failed, although to be fair it wasn't really his fault. There was not a lot he could do about it. It was just one of those situations where tucked in a dip down below us was a deer. It just nicely worked up, nice sort of buck came across in front of us, and it was literally rifle up, shot done, while Dean was still faffing around trying to get it on camera. I'd all on to get it on shot.
Oscar, show me. Show me.
Good lad. Good lad. You're a nice little 6-point roebuck. Couple of years old, 3 at most. Nice little buck. Good nick. 20-30 yard run, heart-long shot, so I never knew much about it. Still in winter coat. Very, very good condition. Okay, this is one of the things we look for on an animal, is for any sort of parasitic or tick burden, which might be an indication of poor health. I mean, there is a couple of ticks just around the groin area. There's another one, there's one, there's maybe a third, but I mean very clean. If it was a massive tick burden, then it would be something that you perhaps need to look at a bit more closely on your inspection, but I mean everything about this deer indicates it's healthy. A little bit of a growth there, that's nothing. This is one of the problems you get when you've got a roebuck that's been laid down and only just got stood up after relaxing, full bladder. So just an area you need to be careful of with your gralloch, because the last thing we want to do is be puncturing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the pelvic bone with the bone saw down there, and then just free around carefully with my fingers around the anus, and then I will carefully lift all that back and then nick it off at the V there and then lift it forward, and that will bring the bladder and everything forward, and the contents will then be emptied downhill and not down into the carcass cavity. A flat cut with the bone saw, not too much pressure because I don't want to go bursting through it and rupture the bladder. And there we go. What you need to do with the S-hooks then is make sure they're wide, so you open the pelvic bone, which will allow you to free all that off and then lift it back. Nice and neat, and careful not to nick it on the joint. It's cut back, so I can now lift that forward and push that all the way down, and then basically there's absolutely no contamination within the pelvic area whatsoever, and any contamination now is going down onto the floor. Okay, this is Oscar's reward this morning. It's his kidneys. So even from a fairly bleak moorland area, you can usually manage to engineer a tree for a suspended gralloch. We've got a nice little willow there growing just on the valley, which just provided us with a nice convenient branch to do the gralloch. The deer sort of, we just sat letting that cool off just for 10 minutes before we pack it up into the predator, and then we'll wander off back to the car and we'll go get some breakfast.
That's all from me.
And it's all from me. Be like the two bloody runners. Anyway, as I always
Little
say,
and large.
watch this space and remember to like us on the socials, and we will be back again in a fortnight. See ya.
Cheers, guys.